Shalom, shalom, Israel. Y'all come on in. As you know already, this is the Tuesday night Brotherhood class. We'll get class started in a little bit, just allowing brothers and sisters to come in. So get your pencils ready, your paper ready, your pens, whatever you need to take notes. Make sure you have your Bibles and your apocryphers with you as well. And we'll get started shortly, y'all. So y'all just bear with me. We'll get started in a little bit. All right, shalom, shalom, Israel. We're going to go ahead and get it started. Precinct Officer Dawashab of the ISUPK started 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. Since 1969, we've been teaching the truth according to the Bible, right? And the truth of the Bible is that this book is not a religious book, right? The Bible is not a religious book. It has nothing to do with Christianity or any other religion, right? It's the history of the 12 tribes of Israel, right? From Genesis to Revelation is only talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. And who are these people today? Well, guess what? If you read this Bible and you get the true understanding of these scriptures, you'll find out that the people that make up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel is so-called blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people, right? We are the so-called 12 tribes. We are the 12 tribes of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people. Our identity was changed due to slavery and being in captivity. Our slave masters imposed different names and languages and cultures upon us once we became a slave here in America. But before we became a slave, right, here in America, right, our history traced all the way back to the 12 tribes of Israel. We are the blood descendants of the Israelites, right? And that's what the Bible is talking about. From Genesis to Revelation, it's talking about the rise and the fall of the nation of Israel. And we've been teaching that since 1969, and we're going to continue to teach that as long as we have to until our King return, right? So right now it's the Brotherhood class every Tuesday from 6:30 to 8:30. We go live at the Hart Memorial Library right here in Kissimmee, Florida. So if you're in the Orlando area, if you're in Central Florida, you want to get your questions answered direct, you can come to Hart Memorial Library, 211 East Dakin Avenue, Kissimmee, Florida, every Tuesday from 6:30 to 8:30. All right. I also got the sign in posted on the chat. All right, got the sign in link. So if you're new to this class, you're looking to join this school, in order to get credit for this class, you have to click on that link in the chat, right? You click on the link, fill out the information, That way you can get credit. And if you get good enough attendance, then you'll be able to get your Hebrew name. All right. So make sure you click on that link. If there's any brothers available as well, man, you know what I'm saying? Y'all click on the StreamYard link. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna need some readers, some shooters with me. So if y'all could, Baba Kashah, click on the link. All right. So for the topic for today, if anybody got any questions, feel free to ask. You can type it in the chat. For the topic for today, man, we're gonna jump into brotherhood, man. Right. So with brotherhood, we got to make sure we perfect ourselves and showing brotherhood. Right. And brotherhood does not come with being boastful or being proud. Right. We got to learn to humble ourselves as individuals and start thinking collectively. You know what I'm saying? This is what Christ came to do. Christ was sent to bring about the 12 tribes of Israel. You know what I'm saying? The 12 tribes of Israel was scattered, right? We was destroyed as a nation and being occupied by the Romans. Trooper could not. I think it should be in the chat. If you don't see it, I should be able to send it to you. But let me know if you see it in the chat. I did post it in the YouTube chat. My bad. You on Facebook? I see. So if you go on the YouTube link on the YouTube stream, it should be in the chat. All right. All right. So when Christ came, he came to bring about the 12 tribes of Israel and teaching us how to be brothers and sisters again and how to be a nation again. Right. And there's a lot of flaws and within us as a people that we have and when it comes to brotherhood, when dealing with each other. You know what I'm saying? Everything that we, practice as a community, we try to spin it and make it think as if it's the water off the Salaki. You know what I'm saying? We try to spin it as if every negative trait within our community is black culture. But we got to realize through this slavery and through this captivity, we adopted a lot of things from our slave master. You know what I'm saying? Our slave master taught us how to hate each other. Our slave master taught us how to treat each other. You know what I'm saying? The reason why we have so much crime and violence amongst each other is because we're living in the mind state of our oppressor. We're trying to be like those that oppressed us, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, Christ came and taught us the value of being an Israelite, the value of being a black man and a Hispanic man, and learning how to treat one another and seeing the value in each other. You get what I'm saying? The oppressor, he'll never show you any love. You know what I'm saying? The so-called white man is as proud as he can be. That's why he has groups like Proud Boys, make songs about how proud he is to be an American. This land that he stole from Native Indians, which is one of the 12 tribes of Israel. You know what I'm saying? And he boasts himself and brags himself of being a great country, making America great again, the greatest country on this earth. You know what I'm saying? Well, the Lord is getting ready to bring the pride of America down. You know what I'm saying? To bring the pride of our oppressor down. You're getting prepared right now in this earth. The whole earth is getting prepared for World War III. You know what I'm saying? It's because the Lord is getting ready to shut down the pride of this empire. All right. So he's doing that and making you know that you should not be like your oppressor. Right? You should not be like him, or else you will get caught up in the crossfire. What you want to do is separate yourself and learn what Christ told us to do. All right. And being brothers and sisters. All right. The water sis coming through. All right. Most High Christ. Shalom, shalom. Most High Christ. No sweat. The water. All right. So for the first verse, we're going to grab Proverbs 16 and 18. Right. If you have any questions too, y'all can ask as well. All right. So Proverbs 16 and 18. All right. So it says, "Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall." Right? What is this talking about? When it says pride goeth before destruction, what is that talking about? Anybody want to give the answer? I know we got some geniuses in the building. All right, go shy. You know what I'm saying? What is somebody that's prideful? What do you when you hear the word pride? What do you think about? Oh, give it a shot. It's no sweat. Confidence. That's kind of teetering a bit, right? There is a difference between pride and confidence, right? It's good to be confident, right? There's nothing wrong with having confidence, but you can be excessive in your confidence, right? That's where most pride stems from, right? When people is excessive or overly confident, so much so that they don't care who neck they step on to succeed, or they don't care who they hurt, right? Or they always thinking of themselves as being greater than everybody else. You ever met somebody like that? You think they better than everybody else? No matter what they do, they never find, any wrong in their doing, regardless of how they make you feel or how you feel about it, right? We all familiar with that, right? We all know people like that, right? That would be somebody that's prideful, somebody that has a lot of pride, right? Right? Brothers and sisters, Officer Kawan said big headed. Right, exactly. Say KJ, the designer, says Salakia, sir, selfish.
Their self-esteem is too high, too big.
Right, right,
They
right.
don't see nothing but what they got in front of them.
Exactly. They become selfish and big headed and always thinking about themselves. You know what I'm saying? Well, the Bible says a person like that, but when they become that way, this is the beginning stages of their destruction. Meaning what?
Their selfishness.
Right? Well, which is eventually going to cause what? You said harm. You said self. You said self. What you said? No man.
Selfishness.
Selfishness, which is correct, right? Harm. All these things can bring about somebody's downfall, right? Nobody in life wants to take a L, right? Nobody, nobody's comfortable with taking an L. You know what I'm saying? But if you become too prideful and not aware of your actions and how to go about in your day-to-day life and thinking that you got it all figured out, guess what? That's the recipe for disaster, right? You're setting yourself up for failure, right? It's always good to take advice. It's always good to be humble, right? So that way you can learn what to do and what not to do, right? So the Bible is teaching us not to be that way, because if we become that way, we start to fall as a people. You know what I'm saying? And we got many of us that's like that today. You see it on TV, you hear it on the songs. It's like it's common, right? Everybody bragging about what they got. They got the cars, the jewelry, the money, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I love to see my people shine. You know what I'm saying? But when we use that to hate on each other, what I'm saying, or to bring each other down, guess what? That only is destroying us as a nation. You get what I'm saying? What we got to learn to do is to humble ourselves collectively as a nation. You know what I'm saying? And be retaught on what we need to do. All right. Trooper Kanai, you can hear me, Warrior?
Kind, sir.
All right, most high in Christ, Warrior. Man, good to have you on, man. You able to read?
You already know, sir. You say Proverbs, where you at?
Yeah, I'm at 16 and 18. Proverbs
Kind,
16 and
kind, sir.
18. All right, the water, Warrior.
No sweat. You want me to start now, sir?
Come, Baba Kashah.
Kind. The book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall.
And if I may, y'all can come on up. You know what y'all sit on up, man. I'm family, y'all. Come on up.
Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall.
All right.
The wicked shall fall before the fall,
My fault, Triple Canal. You can read that one more time, word.
Kind, sir. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 18. Pride goeth before destruction,
Right. What we just talked about right now, right? Read on.
and a haughty spirit before a fall.
Right. Now, what does haughty means? A haughty spirit. Right. Let's pull the definition of haughty. That's a new word we're gonna add to our vocabulary. All right. We know what pride is. Right. Let's find out what haughty is. Give y'all some time to look it up.
Restless and impatient.
You said what?
Restless and impatient.
You got to speak up.
Restless and impatient.
There you go. Somebody restless and patient. Any more definitions? The water officer Kwan for putting the verse on there as well. All right, this should be a little bit more definition so we can get a clear understanding what haughty is.
Boastful.
Boastful. What else? Any more?
Proud.
Proud. Don't that sound familiar with what we just read? The word pride, right? The word pride is synonymous with haughty. They're both similar in definition. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's proud is haughty as well, right? So the Bible is letting you know of a haughty spirit. You know what a spirit is? Y'all know what a spirit is? What's the spirit?
The soul of the dead.
You said, huh?
The soul of the dead.
No, I mean that's the good guess. You know, I ain't knocking. You know what I'm saying? But not quite. Not according to the Bible, I would say, right? And the spirit is somebody vibe, right? You know what we all know what vibe is, right? You know the vibe that you get for somebody, the energy, the you know their vibe, their characteristics, and all that, right? That's what a spirit really is. You know what I'm saying? So somebody who has a proud vibe, you know what I'm saying? That's somebody that's destined for disaster, right? That's somebody that's eventually will fall, right? Because they're thinking that nothing can stop them, nothing can ever happen, or they can do whatever they want to people, and they can get away with it. You know what I'm saying? Well, you ever heard the saying every dog has his day? Yeah, you heard that before? Every dog has his day. What does that mean?
Well, it can be like everybody has a bad day.
All right. Now you on it, right? Right. You can have a day where you real up, and you can have a day where you're real down and low. You get what I'm saying? Right? If you somebody that's up, you have to consider that maybe someday, you know, it's a possibility that I can be brought back low. Right? If you're somebody that's low, there is a possibility that you can be brought up as well. Right? All that is in the doing of the Most High. The Lord decides all that. He decides who he brings up and who he brings down. He decides who he gives power and authority to, and he decides who he don't give power and authority to. That's all the Lord decision. You get what I'm saying? So if we're not thinking in the mindset of what the Lord wants us to do, and thinking we God, we can make our own decisions. And God you ain't got to tell me what to do, and I can do what I want. Guess what? You in the recipe for disaster. You're bound to fall. You know what I'm saying? We always got to take in consideration of what we need to do on this earth. Right? We've been living. How old are you? You 14 years old. How old are you, little man? You're 11 years old. Right? This book, these scriptures, these words in this book has been existing for over 1,000 years, long before you was here on this earth. Right? And being 14 and 11, there's only so much that you learn in that short span of time. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm 32. Right? I only know things of this earth from 30 years plus. That's it. I don't know nothing else beyond that. But once I go into the record, I can learn from those that's before me, that existed longer than me. You get what I'm saying? They have more wisdom and more knowledge than I do, that I can accumulate in 30 years. You get what I'm saying? And it's no different with anybody, any age, right? We have to go back into these records and find out what the scriptures are saying so we can know what to do. And so we can outlive 14 years old and outlive 11 years old and outlive 30 years old. You get what I'm saying? All right. All right. So let's drop that. Let's get some more on the topic. Let's get Luke 14:7. Also, Kawan said a base and a bound. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Bible is telling you to do. Right? Think about it. Christ was our king. Right? Let's get what Christ says about being humble.
Con out of one con, sir. You said 14:7?
Luke 14:7.
Con out of one con.
All right. This is what Christ is getting ready to let you know how to be humble. Right? Y'all know who Christ is, right?
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all this. What color is Jesus Christ?
Black.
Man, get it, man. You know what I'm saying? Mama doing something, right? Yeah, right. All right, let's go ahead, Trooper Canut.
Con out of one con. The book of Luke, chapter 14, verse 7.
Let's go ahead,
And he put
Canut.
con out of one con.
Nah, you got it, boy. What's going on, Trooper Matthias? Most High in Christ, man. Good to have you, boy. Go ahead, Trooper Canut.
The book of Luke, chapter 14, verse 7. And he put forth a parable to those which were bidden,
Mm-hmm.
when he marked how they chose out the chief rooms, saying unto them.
Right. So those who are bidden is talking about those who are called, right? This is talking about the services that we had in the temple, right? And those who are called to come into the temple, Christ is getting ready to make a parable about them, right? The chief rooms is talking about the high rooms, right? The section, right? Yeah, I know y'all young, right? But if you go in the club, every club got a VIP section, meaning the section for the important people. You know what I'm saying? And they got a certain status, and people look at them in awe because they're in this certain section. Right? So Christ is getting you a parable about people who love to be in the VIP section, to be in the important section, the chief section, right? Go ahead.
Verse 8. When thou art bidden of many men to a wedding,
Mm-hmm.
Salaki, when thou art bidden of any man to a wedding, sit not down in the highest room.
In the highest room, right? Talking about the VIP room, the very important room, right? Read on.
Lest a more honorable man than thou be bidden of him.
Right. What is that talking about?
Salaki.
Go ahead, Troop.
That's saying like as you say. Okay, that's saying like this. Okay, you go to like I said, a wedding. You took it upon yourself to sit in this very luxurious spot or this very like high place, like where the important people sit. Then
Mm-hmm.
here comes somebody that's more important than you, or more
Mm-hmm.
honorable than you, or got more worse than you coming in. So now it's expected for him to sit where you sitting at. You ain't earned that right to sit where you sat yourself at. You gotta let somebody else sit you there. Or you gotta
God.
earn the right to sit right there in them sections.
Right. Get the brother a hand. That's exactly right. Y'all heard what he said, right? You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what Christ is talking about. Right? We place titles on ourselves. Everybody want to be that dude. You know what I'm saying? Especially social media. Oh man, everybody's it. You know, you go on Instagram, everybody doing it. You get what I'm saying? Well, you have to earn that right in order to be called that ish or that dude. You dig what I'm saying? Somebody, if you are well deserving of that title, you'll obtain it, right? But if you're not well deserving of it, somebody that's more important than you is gonna come and take your place. You know what I'm saying? Because they deserve that spot more than you have, right? Don't just claim something just because of the name of it, right? And don't understand the responsibilities that come behind it, right? Let's continue on.
Con out of one con. Verse 9. And he that bade thee and him come and say to thee, give this man place, and thou begin with shame to take the lowest room.
Right. If I may, Trooper Canuck, for some reason, the audio is going in and out on your phone. Well, it's not going in and out. It's like getting real low, then it get high again.
So like, can you hear me now, sir?
Kind of, I hear you good.
Is it 12 now?
Yeah, yeah, it should. I mean, y'all can hear him, right? Y'all can hear him?
He going up and down.
Yeah, but y'all can still hear him though, right?
Come.
Kind. Yeah, it should be too wild.
Okay. So you want me to read it over, sir?
Kind, Baba Kasha.
Kind out on what kind? Uh, let me take my camera off so you can hear him, so I can put the volume. Slack it.
All right.
Uh, the book of Luke, chapter 14, verse 9. And he that bade thee and him come and say to thee, give this man place, and thou begin with shame to take the lowest room.
Right. So the bathee, meaning the one that called you and invited you to this wedding, you took it upon yourself to go into the VIP section, right? And here comes somebody that has greater status than you. Then the person that invited you is telling you now, go ahead and get out the VIP section so I can make room for this more important person. And that's gonna bring anybody shade, right? You went in there thinking you was the stuff, right? Instead of going, into the common section to where everybody else is at, you took it upon yourself to go into the VIP section. You get what I'm saying? And the Lord is using this parable to tell us that we should not puff ourselves up with titles. We shouldn't puff ourselves up with information that we think we know, or just because we have nice cars or nice clothes or a certain status. At the end of the day, you're flesh like everybody else. Right? When you die, you don't go with none of these things. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, the most important thing on this earth is serving the Most High. Because when you pass, He still has control over your spirit. All that gold that you work hard for, you cut throat and cut people off for, and everything that you try to obtain on this earth, that you try to do and being wicked and getting it, none of that's gonna matter when you pass. You get what I'm saying? The only thing that does matter is if you were serving the Most High or not. That's what matters. You get what I'm saying? And Christ teaches us not to be prideful, not to boast ourselves of something that we're not to use our things to hate on each other, to provoke each other. You get what I'm saying? That is a form of hate. Stunting, that's a form of hate too. You know what I'm saying? If you go in those sections of the club, everybody's stunting in the VIP section. Tell me that.
They do.
They in the VIP section throwing money,
They doing it all.
throwing bottles, all of that stuff. So they can look at the other people like, look, I'm better than you. You see what I'm better than you, Negro. You ain't got nothing on me and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? When that's further dividing us as a people, that classism is further dividing us as a people, man. The rich is supposed to take care of the poor. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why the Lord bless those people with those type of riches, man. We should always consider our nation, no matter what status we get, right? Let's continue on.
Kind out of one kind. Verse 10. But when thou art bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, that when he that bade thee cometh, he may say unto thee, friend, go up higher. Then shalt thou have worship in the presence of them that sit at meat with thee.
Right. You know what I'm saying? If you go into that place, go into a wedding, go into an event, choose the low state first, right? Choose the humble road first, right? Don't always seek attention, seek people to like you and all of that stuff. Seek the low road, stay humble. And that way, when the person who invited you see you take the low seat, be like, you know what? This is a good person. This is a humble person. Let me go and invite. What you doing down there? Come on up here, man. You dig what I'm saying? But if you always boasting and bragging about yourself, they're like, why this nigga in the section with us? Why don't you go down there and we're gonna bring somebody else up? You know what I'm saying? But if you take a humble road, take the low road, you know what I'm saying? That can bring you more honor in other people's sight. You get what
It's
I'm
like,
saying? Go ahead, Roy.
and that's true. Like what you're saying, back that up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Have you ever seen like when some just I ain't know well, I know the brothers are kind of young, but they'll see it sometimes. Like you just see it on TV, like when somebody come in and took the humble road and came into a club or an establishment and the main person that hosted the party come and get them and bring them up to the VIP section, everybody look at them. They be like, dang, who is that? You know what I'm saying? He got escorted up to the VIP area by whoever hosting the party. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what you doing sitting down here? Like, that's what it's saying. Like, when you get that kind of when you get that kind of look, everybody will be wondering who you are. Like, you know what I'm saying? They'll
Nah,
praise you instead of you bigging up yourself. They'll big you up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like what the scripture said. Like, I used to see that in the club too. You know what I'm saying? You see
mm-hmm.
somebody just come in and they just be chilling. Then next thing you know, you see the owner or somebody come and grab them and take them up to the VIP. You be like, dang, that must be somebody. You know what I mean? So like,
God, nah, that's heavy. That's heavy, man. Because it do be exactly just like that. Like it's funny how you mention movies. Like they make many tons of movies where they always get the underdog to win. You get what I'm saying? That's just like how the Most High is too, right? Even with us as a nation, the Lord didn't choose us because we was mighty in numbers and great in strength and all of that. He chose us because He decided to keep a covenant with our forefathers. You get what I'm saying? That's the reason why He decided to choose us. It's not nothing great that we did. It was His decision. You get what I'm saying? Like the Lord can choose the underdogs, the one that's the tiniest of nations, right? That's what it mentions in the scriptures that we was the smallest of nations. We was in the captivity under the Egyptians. The Egyptians had all the wealth, all the gold. Pharaoh had all the power. He had a great army, a great military, and the Lord got rid of all of that and rose the sheep herders out of Egypt. You know what I'm saying? The low people, the people that they would never expect to be the chosen people of God. You get what I'm saying? That's the same thing with us, right? We in a land of our captivity. Don't nobody expect you to be the chosen, right? Don't nobody expect you to be great and the rulers of this earth and all of that stuff. Nobody expect that. You know what I'm saying? Well, guess what? If you serve the Most High, He'll take those that's on the bottom and bring them on top, and take those that's on top and bring them to the bottom. You get what I'm saying? This is how God works, right? Let's continue on.
con out of one con. Verse 11. For whosoever exalted himself shall be abased.
So whosoever exalted himself shall be abased. What does that mean? What is Christ saying? I want to give it a shot.
Can you say it again?
All right. So the scripture where we just read said, "For whosoever exalted himself shall be abased." You know what exalt means? Let's go ahead and look it up. Let's go ahead and get that definition.
Like it, sir. Are you what you
Nah, they about to grab it.
con out of con?
Y'all know how to spell it? What you got for me, boy? Give it a shot. It's all right. It's the judge free zone over here. You got it.
Exalted means drained of one's physical and mental resources.
To what? You're gonna have to speak up, my man.
Drained of one's physical or mental resources.
Okay, what else? Any other definition?
Worn out.
Mm-hmm.
Weary.
Weary.
Ivan and dog tired.
We put exhaust or exalt. All right.
You put exhausted.
That's what popped up. No sweat. No sweat for time's sake. All right, no sweat. For time's sake, somebody in the chat, Trooper Halak, put the definition. He said, set thyself or set themselves above everyone or boasting. Right? That's what the word exalt means. All right. Somebody who always put themselves above everybody. Well, the Bible says somebody that's like that will be abased. Right? What does abased mean? Let's get the definition. This is words we learned it today. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna learn our ABCs, our one, two, threes today. What does a base mean? Yeah, seems like you don't care for that one.
No, it just keeps falling.
A base. Let's get the definition of a base.
What you said a base, right?
Mm-hmm. What you got for me, young man?
Behaves in a way that belittles or degrades someone.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? That's what a base means. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's always exalting themselves, boasting about themselves, or bragging about themselves will soon become a base. The Lord can switch roles anytime, right? And the sister mentioned confidence earlier, right? If you have any confidence, and it's good to have confidence and good self-esteem about the skills that you have and what you're capable of doing, but you always want to give glory to the Most High in all the things that you do. Because guess who blessed you with those skills? The Most High gave you that. He created you to be that way. You know, to be smart, to be intelligent, to be athletic, your charisma, your character, your spirit, your vibe, everything about you, the Lord created you to be that way, right? So whenever you want to speak of anything great that you do, always give glory to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Brothers and sisters in the school already know, you know, we get any praise. It's hard to give anybody props in the ISUPK. That'd be like the hardest thing to do. You know what I'm saying? You be trying to give somebody props, be like, nah, I don't need, nah. They trying to brush it off. You get what I'm saying? Because that's how we're taught by Christ under Commander Jenny Yohana, to always to be a base, to humble yourself, right? To be in a low state. Don't get too puffed up just because of your status or your rank or whatever you think you got. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord can take it away in any time. You get what I'm saying? All right, let's continue on.
Kind of the one kind. Uh, in the middle of verse 11, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted.
Right, and he that humble himself shall be exalted. Right? If you stay humble and give your glory to the Most High, man, he'll raise you up. He'll give you the things that seem fit that you need or that you desire, as long as you willing to do what the Lord tells you to do. Right? He'll raise you up. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about, you know, the common things that we worry about in this earth that causes us to be greedy, that causes us to be selfish. Lord, he knows everything that you need. And he also knows the things that you desire. Things meaning the things that you may not need, but you want it. You want it real bad, like a new bike, a new toy, a new video game, whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? If you stay humble and doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, you know what I'm saying, the Lord can possibly give you rulership on this earth. He can help you out in any problem that you got. You know what I'm saying? He can give you the strength and ability to understand what to do on this earth. You know what I'm saying? But if you always thinking that you know right and you got it all figured out, you know what I'm saying? That's who the Lord is not going to choose. That's who he's not going to raise up. Right? So let's drop that. Let's get you said what?
Do you know where the bathroom is?
Yeah. It's as soon as you get out these doors, you're gonna make a left. You're gonna see it right there in the corner. Right? Just make a left, you see it past the stairs. All right, let's drop that. And also anything y'all brothers want to add, also, man, feel free to add. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to add. Let's get Ecclesiasticus 10 and 12. Ecclesiasticus and the Apocrypha. Little sis, she out?
She said she haven't eaten.
Oh, she have it? Yeah.
Kind of the one kind.
They got a piece of joint.
Kind out of one kind, sir.
All right, go ahead. My fault, boy.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10, verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
The beginning of pride is when one departed from God.
Right. Can you jump me up to verse 8, Baba Kasha? Because all this is good. This whole chapter is good to and vital to understand. So let's jump to verse 8.
Kind of
Do you know what Apocrypha is? You got an Apocrypha? You got the Bible app on your phone or anything? No? All right. Right.
She took her phone.
That's what. All right. So let's go ahead and jump me up verse 8.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit,
Mm-hmm.
the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Man, what is that talk? Who fits this so perfectly? What people on this earth fit this so perfectly?
It's like it.
Go ahead, soldier.
That's talking about the nation of Israel.
Right, it's nation of Israel, right? And who else? Who's in rulership right now? And how did they get there in rulership?
Salaki,
Mm-hmm.
the so-called white man.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It definitely fits Israel, but it man, it even suits the oppressor even better. You know what I'm saying? He got everything on this earth by thinking that he's God, by making himself out to be a God, thinking that he's great, that nobody can stop him. So you know what he did with that? He went out and slaughtered the native Indians and took this land from them. Right? You know that this land used to belong to the native Indians? Right. Where are the native Indians now? Do you know? You said exactly right. Right? Under this building right here is the bone of the native Indians that the people that ruled this earth had to slaughter in order to establish this. You know what I'm saying? Everything that's established on this earth in this country was established through either murder, slavery, robbery, rape, all type of wickedness that they did to establish themselves. And somebody like that is bound to lose their power. Right? Y'all ever heard of the word karma?
Yeah.
All right, what is that? What's karma?
Basically, you can talk about yourself all day,
Mm-hmm.
and you keep talking about yourself, something gonna come and take that all away.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I don't
You know
know
what
how
I'm
to
saying?
put it in words.
Nah, you exactly right. You know what goes around comes around. That's the more simpler way to put it. What goes around comes around. Right? The Bible call it you reap what you sow. That's what the Bible calls it. Meaning what you do is eventually going to come back to you. You know what I'm saying? And this is why uh, uh, countries and powers are translated from one country to another. This is why one country rises up and they eventually fall, and then another country rises up. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody becomes too prideful and they don't realize how they treat each other. They don't realize what they need to do in keeping the laws of the Most High so they can sustain their nation, so they can continue on this earth. But once you turn away from God, guess what? That is, like we mentioned before, that is the recipe for disaster. All right, continue on.
Kind out of one kind. Verse 9. Why is earth and ashes proud?
Right. What is that talking about? Why is earth and ashes proud? Who is the earth and ashes?
Jesus?
Who is the earth and ashes? Give it a shot, right?
What's the question?
What are we made from? What do they say we are made of? What are we made from? When the Lord pulled Adam, where did he pull Adam from? Where did he find Adam at?
I never learned that.
You never learned that? No sweat, no sweat, no sweat. This is why you're here today, right? Who want to help the brother out? What is the earth and ashes talking about?
Salakia.
Go ahead, soldier.
The earth and ashes would be the people that that inhabited the earth.
Right. That's
Ashes,
talking about
dust to dust.
God. Right. You know what I'm saying? Talking about us. People, humans, right? Earth and ashes, right? When the Lord found Adam, he found him in a low state, right? And it said he formed Adam from the dust of the ground. That's what it's. I'm paraphrasing, right? But he took Adam from the dust of the ground, meaning the low state that Adam was. The Lord risen him up. You know what I'm saying? Earth and ashes. When we die, our body goes where? Back to the earth, right? They dig you up, dig a big hole, put you right in there. You know what I'm saying? And you there forever. And your body start to decay, and you become one with the earth. You get what I'm saying? This is who it's talking about. It's saying, why are you so proud? Meaning we are just here on this earth. We're not immortal. We're mortal. You get what I'm saying? We exist here on this earth. You know what I'm saying? So we have to learn how to be humble, how to deal with each other while we're existing on this earth, right? Let's continue on.
Kind. There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man.
Then a what?
A covetous man.
Let's get that definition so we can know what we talking about. Covetous. You want to spell that out for them, Trooper Canuck?
Kind, sir. That's Covetous.
All right.
Covetous.
Covetous. You got
C
that?
Covetous.
Mm-hmm. So whenever y'all get that, let me know. I see y'all brothers in the chat, man. Right? You right. Also, Kawan, Trooper Halat. Y'all correct. Lows, the dust, the dirt from the bottom. Right? Y'all got that definition?
Wait, spell it again, please.
Spell it one more time for them.
Kind. Covetous.
Covetous.
Desire.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Go ahead, give it a. It says what?
Is an insatiable desire for worldly gain.
All right, an insatiable desire for worldly gain, meaning you obsessed with material things, a material lifestyle, for worldly gain, for money, riches, so for power, for wealth, for resources. You know what I'm saying? This is how most of us have become on this earth because we lost our identity, we lost our culture, so we look to our slave master for an identity. We look to him for a culture. And everything that they teach us is how to be proud, how to be covetous, how to take something that don't belong to you. Because guess what? That's what they did. How to kill for something. Because guess what? That's what they did. How to boast yourself and be evil and wicked and do everything against the Most High because that's what they did. Right? What we have to do is go back into our culture, our identity, and learn what we need to do. Right? The Bible is telling us not to be covetous. You know what I'm saying? Not to have a strong desire for worldly things. Be proud and boast yourself because you have those things. You get what I'm saying? Y'all get me? All right, let's continue on.
In the ending of verse 9. For such an one setteth his own soul to sale.
Mm-hmm. Jump me down to verse 12, Abu Kashar.
Verse 12. The beginning of pride is when one departeth from God.
Right, that's where pride comes from. Right? When you stop living under the rules of God and start making up your own rules, guess what? You proud. That's where problems is gonna come from. You know what I'm saying? God knows best. He's the creator, ain't he? He created that, so he knows what's good for you and what's not good for you. But once you decide amongst yourself to make your own rules, you know what I'm saying, you are in the set destination for destruction. You know what I'm saying? You got many of our people that do that, right? And they do it in a way where it don't seem like they're being boastful. It don't seem like they're being proud. But in hindsight, Meaning deep down, really, they are being proud. Right? The people that's sitting in that Christian church, the only reason they in that church is not because they're getting the word of God. They in that church because they like the music that pastor play. They like the cars. They like how pastor talk about how they gonna get rich and wealthy. They're learning how to be selfish in that church. You know what I'm saying? But yet they, try to portray themselves to be like the kind and loving people. You know what I'm saying? But deep down, they teaching you nothing but selfishness. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, soldier.
If I may, what's so
Go
heavy
ahead.
that it's so heavy that you're saying that because it says envy thou not oppressor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in the book of Obadiah, chapter 1 verse 3, the people that we very envy, which is our oppressor, it explains the pride of their heart, will deceive them, and it talks about their boastful and pride and how they feel, and we falling right after them, and
Damn
they
right.
about to lead into the destruction, especially with this World War III about to happen.
Right. God. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what's going on, man. You know what I'm saying? This is what we learn our behavior from. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord is teaching us not to be that way. So what we got to do is come back to the rules of God. You know what I'm saying? Come back to what God told us to do, what he tells us and how we should behave on this earth. Humble yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't think just because you have a whole bunch of crystals that you know God. Don't think just because you can read astrology and you see this star and you think you're a Capricorn or a Scorpio, that's God, right? Don't think because you bang your head on a carpet every day and wear a man dress and talk about Allah that you know God. You get what I'm saying? What we have to do is really humble ourselves and start from the beginnings, man. A child. Think about a child, right? When as a baby, you don't really know nothing, right? You got to be taught everything. Meaning you got to be taught how to speak. You got to be taught how to walk. You got to be taught how to dress. You even got to be taught your name as a baby, right? As a baby, you don't know your name, right? Your mom is the one that named you. And you hear it so many times, you understand that every time this word is being said, it's talking about me, right? So even as a baby, you have to be taught everything. You get what I'm saying? Well, it's the same thing with coming and serving God, right? You want to start from an infant state, from a baby state, from a low state, right? You want to start from I don't know nothing and God knows everything. So in that way, you'll be able to learn how to talk, meaning you'll be able to learn your language. You'll get a new name. You'll be able to learn what to wear, how to dress, how to behave. You know what I'm saying? But our people are prideful and don't want to come to that realization that they don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? Well, the only way to serve God is to humble yourself and be born again. Start from scratch. Right? Let's read on.
And his heart is turned away from his maker.
Right. And his heart turned away from his maker. Read on.
For pride is the beginning of sin.
Pride is what?
The beginning of sin.
Y'all know what sin is?
know what it is, but I don't know what it is.
Go ahead, give it a shot. Yeah, you got it.
A sin is something that you do that you can't take away.
Now, quiet. You want to give it a shot, little sis? Give it a shot.
Like something that you do that is bad or wrongful.
That is true. But according to what? How do we know what's bad and what's good? No, sir. I help you out. Y'all want to give it a shot? Well, let one of the troopers help you out. Right? What's sin? Go ahead and let them know what sin is.
Sir.
Go ahead.
It's a transgression against the law.
It's a transgression of the law of God, right? Meaning breaking God's law, right? Once you break God's law, guess what? That's what a sin is, right? You know what God laws consist of, right? It tells you what to eat. It tells you how to behave yourself. It tells you what days to celebrate, what days not to celebrate, right? Eating pork is a sin, right? Eating crab, shrimp, and lobster is a sin, right? Huh? Because God said it's a sin, right? You know a pig don't have no sweat glands? You don't know what that is? Meaning every time a pig sweats, it don't come out their pores. You know when you sweat, you know the water comes out your pores, right? The fact that a pig don't have no sweat glands, all that sweat stays trapped in their body. So guess what? When you eat it, guess what? All that stuff is going. It's going in you. And guess what? God knew that before he created you, right? The pig has a purpose, but it's not for you to eat, right? A pig,
Lobsters, crabs, and shrimp.
all of that, everything on this earth has a purpose, right? Lobster and crabs and shrimp, they're known as bottom feeders, right? You know what keep the ocean clean?
They eat.
Right. They eat all that stuff in the bottom of the ocean or the bottom of the lake or the bottom of the river. And once you eat that crab, guess what? All the stuff that they eat is going. It's going in you. That's where it's going, right? All the stuff that they eat at the bottom of the ocean, you take that same lobster and cook it up on the stove and you eat it, all that filthy stuff they ate is going inside of you now. You get what I'm saying? Because you're eating them. All that stuff is inside of them. So you're eating them, right? Now you're going to get all the toxins and all the disease and every filthy thing that they ate at the bottom of the ocean. Now it's going to be inside of you, right? They're there for a purpose. They're in the ocean for a purpose. If they're not there to clean it, then who's going to clean it? Somebody got to clean it, right? So this is why God created them. God created them for that purpose, right? And once we go against what God has set up on this earth, that's when we sin. That's when we do stuff that God don't want us to do. Because if we eat all the crab, guess what? The lakes is going to be dirty now. The ocean is going to be dirty. That's why it's hard to find good, clean water. You know why? Because everybody's eating crab. Everybody's eating shrimp. You get what I'm saying? All right? And this is why we have diseases in our body, like high blood pressure and heart attacks. Right? Have you ever known anybody that died from any bodily diseases or any heart attacks or high blood pressure, anything like that?
I'm gonna just say yes.
Yeah, you know somebody that passed away from high blood pressure or cholesterol or something like that, something messed up with their body. You said famous people, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't know what to eat. They don't know what to put in their body. But once we read the laws of God, we'll know what to put in our body, and God won't curse us or punish us with diseases. You get what I'm saying? He won't punish us with high blood pressure and nothing like that. But somebody that's proud, gonna be like, man, the hell with that. I can eat what I want to eat. Right? Somebody that's proud, that's how they think. Somebody that's proud is like, man, I can sleep who I want to sleep with. I can do what I want to do. Right? They think they are God. You get what I'm saying? Well, the Bible said that's the beginning of sin. You know what I'm saying? When you think you got it all figured out, you better than everybody. Guess what? That's God does not accept that. You know what I'm saying? He wants you to be under his rules. So that way you can know how to treat people. You get what I'm saying? All right, let's continue on.
Kind of the kind. And he that like it. Verse 13. For pride is the beginning of sin,
Mm-hmm.
and he that hath it shall pour out abomination.
Tabora abomination. They're gonna do filthy and disgusting things in the eyes of the Most High. Because they're gonna just do whatever they want to do. Right? Read on. So like the word you can't hear you. You got us on mute if you read it.
It's like you say, you said continue on.
Yeah, Baba Kashab.
Kind. And therefore the Lord it's like it. And therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities.
He brought what?
Strange calamities.
High blood pressure,
Strange calamities.
HIV,
Strange calamities.
death and destruction and slavery, strange calamity. He brought all. God is the one that's bringing all these things. When you ever hear what's going on the radio and with them superstars dying of heart disease and heart attack, who you think did that? God did that. You know what I'm saying? Because God don't want you to go against his rules. We have to humble ourselves and realize that God is the maker. He is the creator. He knows all. Right? We don't know nothing.
Does anyone know where God is?
Yeah. The Bible tells you where God is, right?
In the sky?
Right. God has a place where he dwells at. But here's more important that you should understand. Right? The scripture also say that you are the temple of God. Meaning the spirit of God. Meaning, you remember what spirit means? Your vibe, right? Your attributes, your characteristics. You get what I'm saying? That vibe of God is inside of you, right? It ain't until we break away from that and thinking we can do what we want to do is when God takes that spirit away from you. You get what I'm saying? So if you want to know where God exists, do what God tells you to do, and all you have to do is look in the mirror. You get what I'm saying? Because that's his same vibe where he at in heaven, in the sky. The same vibe that he got is in each and every one of us. You know what I'm saying? And this is what God wants us to do. He wants us to live like him, like he want us to live. He wants us to do what he wants us to do, to speak the words that he wants us to speak, to act how he wants us to act. Right? Once we learn how to act according to God, guess what? All you got to do is look in the mirror if you want to see God. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? All you got to do is see, another black man and know that that same spirit is in you. Yeah, so a God had woolly hair just like you, right? He had a fro just like you, man. Yeah, you laughing? I'm being that serious. You know what I'm saying? God looked just like you, man. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is, we might look like God, but we're not living like it. You get what I'm saying? We got to start living like God. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, he's in the sky. You get what I'm saying? He in the sky. So let's continue on. What's going on, Salabiyat? Good to have you on, Warrior.
What's going on, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Most High in Christ. Let's continue on, Triple Canut.
Kind animal concert.
I think you got us on mute again, Triple Canut. Yeah,
Slack.
if you jammed up, it's no sweat. I'll just have another brother read if you jammed up.
Kind of concert. Yeah, you got two other brothers there. It seemed like my phone jamming up, so Slack, I ain't want to mess up the stream.
Nah, no sweat, no sweat. If somebody can pick up where you left off. Yes,
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10, verse 14. The Lord hath cast down the thrones of proud princes.
Right, proud princes. He has cast down the throne. People who had it all. Right, people who was up in status, up in wealth, thinking that that's all they need to survive on this earth. But God said he cast those people down. Right, read on.
And set up the meek in their stead.
Set up the who?
The meek in their stead.
And he'll get the person that don't have it all, that has nothing, that only has a quarter in their pocket. And he'll get that same person and rise them up to be the leaders of so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we doing in the ISUPK. You know what I'm saying? The Lord cares about the people in the ghetto. You know, the God loves the hood. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? That's where Christ was from. Christ was from the ghetto. You get what I'm saying? And he didn't go out and try to seek the rich and the wealthy and the superstars and the Kardashians and all the people that's liked and loved. He got the people that was on the bottom, in the ghetto, in the hood, barely can have anything to eat, that barely has anything in their fridge, and took those same people and taught them the knowledge of this Bible. so that one day they can get out of that condition. They can get out of the position that they're in, and the Lord will set them above every superstar that you can think of right now. You know what I'm saying? The Lord can set us above, Putin. He can set us above Joe Biden. He can set us above whoever you think is rich and wealthy and is doing it right now. You know what I'm saying? The Lord decides who rules and governs this earth. And right now, this earth is being governed by proud people who don't care about God. You know what I'm saying? So God is good and ready to switch the roles. He gonna get the people who actually do care about him, regardless of their status, and he gonna bring those people up. Right? Are y'all familiar with what's going on in Russia and Ukraine? How y'all feel about that? What you think about that? You say you don't really care?
It's not my problem.
Not your problem. I think it. No sweat. How you feel about it? Same thing. All right, no sweat.
I say it's to God punishing them.
Okay.
and leaving them.
I agree. And somewhat I agree as well. It's none of our business. But let's say this. Let's say if that conflict that's going on between Russia and Ukraine were to come to America. What if they start fighting and a war break out in America because of what's going on in Russia? Would you say that you guys are prepared? You'll know what to do? All right. This is why we have to understand everything that's going on right now in Russia, Ukraine is eventually going to come over here in America. Right? You know World War I and World War II, they taught you that in school? Right? This is the beginning stages of the Third World War. You know what I'm saying? Where God is getting ready to punish people on this earth. You know what I'm saying? And what we have to do is get right with God. The only way we can do that is keeping his law, statutes, and commandments, humbling ourselves, and doing what God told us to do. So that way he can let those people destroy themselves, and he'll rise us up above them. And we ain't got to worry about no bombs, no gunfire, none of that. We'll rise above all of that. Y'all get what I'm saying? All right, let's continue on.
Salakia.
Go ahead, boy.
I read a precept for that.
Go ahead, get down.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 20, verse 16. So the last shall be first, and the first last. For many be called, but few chosen.
Right. That's a perfect precept. You know what I'm saying? The last shall be first, and the first shall be last. People who you the least think is going to be in the first place, they're going to be the ones that's going to be first. The underdog. All right? This is who God is concerned with, man. That's a perfect precept. Right? Let's jump back to Ecclesiasticus.
Verse 15. The Lord hath plucked up the root of the proud nations and planted the lowly in their place.
Right. This is exactly what's happening right now on this earth. The reason why they're fighting between Ukraine and Russia, because the Lord is looking to bring down the powerful people of this earth. The people with all the riches and all the wealth and the strongest military, God is going to bring them down and raise the people that's in the ghetto, that's in the barrio, that's in the reservation, that don't have running water, right? That don't have no businesses in a neighborhood, no infrastructure, no leadership, none of that. He gonna take those same people and raise them up on this earth to be the new rulers of this earth, man. You know what I'm saying? This is what God is getting ready to do, because the people that's ruling right now is too proud to understand how to serve God. It's too proud to even care how to serve God. So guess what? Every dog has his day. All right, read on.
This is verse 16. The Lord overthrew countries of the heathen and destroyed them to the foundations of the earth. He took some of them away and destroyed them, and have made their memorial to cease from the earth.
Man, that's a powerful scripture right there, man. You know, a perfect example of that is Egypt, right? Get a load of hand. You know what I'm saying? Passover is coming up, April 15th, right? Y'all haven't known, you know what I'm saying? Get familiar. April 15th is going down Cocoa Beach, 53rd annual Passover, you know what I'm saying? Where we celebrate the day where the Lord freed us from those that had us in slavery. When the Lord killed the Egyptians, you know what I'm saying, and delivered us out of the hands of our captives. You know what I'm saying? Every year we celebrate that, man. You know what I'm saying? And one time, Egypt was known as a superpower on this earth, right? Egypt was wealthy, rich, had all the military, all the gold, you know what I'm saying? And God destroyed them and took all their wealth from them and chose the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Now, man, what? You know what I'm saying? This is who the Lord chose, right? Let's continue on.
Go on. Verse 18. Pride was not made for men.
Y'all want that? Y'all want that? My bad, word.
Verse 18. Pride was not made for men, nor furious anger for them that are born of a woman.
All right. What is that talking about? Who want to break that down?
Dakin.
Go ahead.
And this, I believe they talking about not having emotion, being emotionless, like as far as like decisions or anything happening. Or I could, so like I think I'm wrong on that.
Okay, no sweat. Nah, listen, you took a shot at it. It's no sweat. You know what I'm saying? You want to take a shot, Officer Lafayette?
Con, sir. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so like it. So basically it's saying, you know, obviously pride was not made for men. So it wasn't meant for men to be prideful. You know, that pride of life that they talk about, you know what I'm saying, like here in Babylon, you know what I'm saying, that pride that people have. I mean, even when they got like gay pride month, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't meant for us to be that way, nor furious anger. You know what I'm saying? That anger that you know what I'm saying, we have towards one another, you know what I'm saying, where we don't show no mercy, and you know, we just go to the very brink of destruction when it comes to us, you know what I'm saying? So those things were not meant for us to really have. We were meant to be, you know, be humble and be kind and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, towards one another, but you know, that wasn't meant for us.
Exactly, man. Get a brother a hand, man. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what it's talking about. It's not meant for you to pride yourself above God, right? God has everybody. He wants everybody to be subject under something, right? Most importantly, him, right? He's the top one that you're supposed to be subject under, right? And then he also has a system and order that's set up that everybody has a place in a position that they're supposed to play on his role, right? The man is supposed to be subject under Christ, right? While the woman is subject under the man, and the children follow under the woman. You get what I'm saying? This is the role that the Lord has set up. But once you become too prideful, you know what I'm saying, thinking that you don't need to be subject under nobody, that you don't have to follow nobody's authority or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? That's when you start to cause confusion and eventually destroy yourself. You get what I'm saying? It is not meant for man. He created us to keep his laws, statutes, commandments, nor that fury, anger. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that we do towards each other, man, that all comes from pride. Shooting each other down, drive-bys, and all of these killings that we got going on in our neighborhood. Because everybody think they Billy badass. You know what I'm saying? Everybody think they just, they untouchable. So they go around shooting people, harming people, and not worrying about the consequences. Well, guess what? In life, there's always consequences in life. Everything you do, there's a reaction. To every cause, there's an effect. And you have to be mindful of that. You can't go around expressing your anger at will when you feel like it, just because you're mad or you're angry. You can't go around and exposing your emotions to everybody just because you can obtain it and hold it in. It's always good to be disciplined, right? It's always good to learn what to say and what not to say, how to treat others. That way we can lower the numbers between black on black crime, black and Hispanic crime. You know what I'm saying? Black and Indian crime, Indian and Hispanic crime. You know what I'm saying? And we can learn how to love each other again. But we have to start being humble again and realize the Lord is our power that we have to be subject under. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue on.
Go on.
Kind not. Listen, the water too, Sister Kadawa, man. Got a brother some water, you know what I'm saying? That's a good one, man. You know what I'm saying? Hooked the brother up. I was quite parched in here, you know what I'm saying? He definitely hooked me up. Water. I appreciate it. Now let's get let's continue on.
Salakia, sir. If I may,
Mhm.
going back to verse 15 through 17, I'll
Mhm.
put do a picture for the precept.
Okay, come on, yeah, get down
I
with it.
think it's pretty important for this.
Man. God, that's perfect right there, man. Look at us in the get, yo. Do you have the name of that statue?
Salakia, I do not. I can get it.
Right. I think that statue is in Philadelphia, if I'm not mistaken.
Khan Khan, I believe it is.
Right. They got a statue in Philadelphia of an oppressor, right? So-called white man sitting on a horse, and both sides of him, right? On the right-hand side, he has a black slave. I mean, on the left-hand side, he has a black slave, and then on the right-hand side, he has a native Indian. And they both crouch down next to him while he's on this horse. You get what I'm saying? Like this is an actual statue that they have in Philadelphia.
Wow.
An actual showing, you know, right, boasting themselves of who they conquered in order to establish America. Right? They proud as can be, not caring about that we are the chosen people of God. As long as they ruling, they can do what they want to do. Who can stop them? Right? They show us every day. You know what I'm saying? With George Floyd, right? Trayvon Martin, and all our brothers and sisters that get shot down unjustly.
And look what they're doing right now in Ukraine.
Right.
Let all our people come from the United States.
God. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on, man. Because our oppressor, the people that rule this earth, don't care about following God, but doing what God says. They don't care about stuff like that. They think they're gods, right? The water wars.
I ain't about.
God, they think they're God, man. And
Khan
this is
Khan.
why the Lord is getting ready to destroy them and bring them down. And those same people on those statues, they gonna be the princes on this earth. They're gonna be the new rulers and the kings and priests of this earth, man. You see the state of black people right now, and we always think it's okay to misuse and abuse black people just
Right,
because we're in the low state that we in.
right.
You know what I'm saying? But soon enough, those same people that that America has taken advantage of will be the new rulers on this earth. And justice will be served on this earth, man, for everything that black people had to endure. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue on.
Khan Khan. Verse
Khan.
19.
If I may, too, also Quran, that's a perfect precept, right? Ecclesiastes 10 and 7 says, I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. You know what I'm saying? Meaning the people that's supposed to be on these horses, meaning in authority, in power, they're on the ground walking as servants. And the servants that's supposed to be on the ground they're the one that's on the horses with power and authority. Right? That's what the horse symbolizes. Somebody with wealth and power. You know what I'm saying? That has authority. They on this horse when they're supposed to be the servants. They supposed to be on the ground, right? You ever see the movie The Django? You never see the Django? Oh man, you gotta see the Django, man. But God, you know, the Jamie Foxx when he comes through the plantation, he on the horse. Here comes Samuel Jackson, you know, the house Negro, the Django. God, yeah, you know, the Django, right? It's a good movie. You definitely got to watch it. But when Jamie Foxx come through on the horse, you got the house Negro Samuel Jackson is surprised to see Jamie Foxx on his horse because he's supposed to be the slave. You got to look at this nigga on this man. You know what I'm saying? Because you know the slave master is the only one that can ride this horse because that symbolized their authority, and the slaves are supposed to walk. You know what I'm saying? Well, the Bible is saying things are upside down. You know what I'm saying? The slaves is the one that's on the horse, and the one that's supposed to be on the horse are the slaves. You know what I'm saying? And we are those people. The blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people, we are slaves here in America, but we're supposed to be on that horse. You get what I'm saying? We're supposed to be in rulership and authority. And the so-called white man, he's supposed to be the slave. He's supposed to be the worker. You know what I'm saying? God. So that's a perfect precept, right? Yeah, look at the 70-year-old Jack. Yeah, you gotta watch that movie. That's a good movie. Yeah, let's continue on, Ward.
Come. Verse 19. They that fear the Lord are a sure seed.
Those that
And
do what?
they that fear the Lord are a sure seed.
Fear the Lord, right? How do you fear God? You know what I'm saying? You fear him by doing what he tells you to do. You know what I'm saying? The scripture says the beginning of wisdom is, I'm paraphrasing, is when you fear the Most High. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of wisdom. You know what I'm saying? When you do what he tells you to do, understanding the consequences behind it, guess what? That's when you're gonna be in the Most High's favor. That's when you're gonna get wisdom and understanding. But if you pride yourself and thinking that you ain't got to do what God tells you to do, guess what? That's when he gonna hate you. That's when he gonna punish you. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? God does hate. He does hate. He ain't all about. He ain't unconditional love like they love to say. You know, God got an unconditional love. He don't have his love is conditional. Right? If you do it along in these terms, what I've written of for you to do, then I'll love you. If you don't do it, then I don't love you. You get what I'm saying? And right now, we're not in God's good graces as a nation, as a whole, as a people. Collectively, we're not in God's good graces, man. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is angry at us. This is why we in the condition that we in right now. But nothing is going to save us. Not money, not voting, not marching. None of these wicked leaders with all this wealth will save us. But serving the Most High is the only thing that can save us, man. Right? Let's continue on.
Come. And they that love him, an honorable plant.
Mm-hmm.
They that regard not the law are a dishonorable seed.
Right. Or what?
Dishonorable seed.
The oppressor is what?
Dishonorable seed.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? The Lord has chosen so-called blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people, right? For time's sake, let's drop that. But if you continue reading on, that's a good chapter to read on. Right? Let's drop that. Let's get Luke 17:7.
Come. This is the book of Luke 17:7. But which of you, having a servant plowing for feeding cattle,
Mm-hmm.
will say unto him by and by, when he is come from the field, go and sit down to meat.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 8. And will not rather say unto him, make ready wherewith I may sup, and gird thyself, and serve me till I have eaten and drunken, and afterward thou shalt eat and drink.
Right. This is another parable Christ is giving, right? What is he saying here in this parable? In the beginning of this parable, what is he talking about? Let's break it down in simpler terms, what he's saying. We'll give it a shot. Go and help him out, Officer Lapia. What is this talking about?
So like you, sir, I had to step away, so I'm trying to find out where y'all at.
No sweat. Luke 17:7.
Kind of.
Okay. Luke 17:7, right? What is this talking about, right? Right. Think about it as if you have a chef, right? Somebody that's hired to cook for you. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that works for you, right? Personal chef and all that. Right? You got money. Now it's time for dinner, right? This person that's getting paid to cook for you, right? You pay him, right? You're not going to tell him not to cook, right? Yeah, I'm paying you hourly to cook for me. You're not going to tell him not to cook and have him sit down and you go cook and feed them the food that you cooked in the kitchen, right?
Right.
You expect that person that you're paying to cook for you. And after he cooks for you and give you your food, then he can, get his food and get his portion as well. Or he or she, his portion as well. Right? So in this parable, he's given that same analogy. You know what I'm saying? So you having a dinner time, you're having a supper, it's time for you to eat. You tell your servant or your worker, go ahead and cook for me. Right? Anybody with common sense who knows that I'm paying this person hourly will understand that's their responsibility. It will not require anything else from them. So after they cook their food for you, then that's when they'll eat. Right? So in this parable, he's gonna break down the roles of the servant and the ones that's the master, right? Let's continue on.
Verse 9. Though he think that servant because he did the things that were commanded him, I throw not. Salaki.
Mm-hmm.
I trow not.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 10. So likewise ye, when ye shall have done all those things which are commanded you, say, we are unprofitable servants.
Say what?
Unprofitable servants.
You should say what?
Unprofitable servants.
Right. This is our job. Like, we're supposed to be doing what God tells us to do. Right? Love is a duty. Right? It's an obligation. And we're supposed to love the Most High with all our heart, all our mind, and all our soul and our strength. And love thy brother as ourselves. This is what we're supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? The Lord never, acquired or required you to break his commandments and go into captivity. Right? He wanted you to be the rulers of this earth. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that we broke away from his commandments, this is why we're in the condition right now. So all we're really doing is going back to what we're supposed to be, what we're supposed to be at, what we're supposed to be doing. And that don't make you great. You know what I'm saying? It don't make you, high and mighty on this earth when you were supposed to be doing it in the first place. This is your responsibility and your duty to do on this earth as an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? And following God, you're not going to get a statue behind you. They're not going to bring you on stage at some award show. You might not even be wealthy. Right? You might still work a slave. You know what I'm saying? Don't expect God to just pour in blessings because you're keeping his law, statute, and commandments. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Right? Don't think that, you should deserve to be praised and a plaque should be put on the wall and everybody should scream your name when you walk in a room when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're required to keep his law, statute, and commandments. You know what I'm saying? And don't be fooled by your status. Don't be fooled by your rank. Don't be fooled by all the praise that people give you. You know what I'm saying? Because the same way the Lord rose you up, he can bring you down. All right. So in this analogy, a person that's out there serving, he's doing their responsibility. All right. And he understands that he's getting paid for this. You know what I'm saying? And he knows that this is not something that's going to get him a plaque on the wall. This is my job. Right? This is not something that I'm doing just so I can get a whole bunch of likes like people do on social media. This is my job. You get what I'm saying? He's doing it and humbling himself and knowing his role. You know what I'm saying? We got to know our role and our position. We all got a role to play. You know what I'm saying? The man got a role to play. The woman, the wife got a role to play. You know what I'm saying? The children got a role to play. All right? If we subject ourselves under those authorities, according to the system that the Lord has set up, we can establish and rule this earth, man. You know what I'm saying? We can be great on this earth, right? But it starts with how we treat each other. What rules do we follow? How we make sure we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? And once you do that, the Lord can raise you up, right? Let's continue on.
At the end of verse 10, we have done that which was our duty to do.
We have what?
We have done that which was our duty to do.
Right. This is your duty, man. Love is a duty. It's not just an emotion or a feeling. Sometimes you're going to do stuff that you don't feel like doing. Right? But if you humble yourself and realize I'm just flesh, maybe you can possibly get through it. Right? If you still, find enough strength to do it, you know what I'm saying? It can probably help somebody more than your own self. Right? If you don't always just think about your own self and pleasing yourself, you know what I'm saying? Think about what you can do for others and how you can help others. Right? This is the main point of being humble. You know what I'm saying?
Salaki.
Go ahead, Ward.
If I may, I was on YouTube like a couple of weeks ago, and there's a show called The Pivot. A couple of ex NFL cats, they got a little show, and they had J.R. Smith on there, and they was interviewing him, and he said something that was like, it was real heavy. He's like, man, I done made so much money, doing this NBA, playing in the league, and he said, but we out here, spend our money with all these other facilities. And I said, he like, I'm from LA. He like, Westbrook from LA. This guy's from LA. This guy's from LA. He said, why aren't we putting our money to have our own facilities instead of spending with these other people that don't have this?
I think I seen that joint. Yeah, God, my fault. Go ahead.
And then he's like, man, I've been going to club, just throwing money, crazy money, and then I go back to my old neighborhood. And it shocked me. He said, right there, that's why I pivot. He said, I ain't did nothing. I was no service to my people. I was like, God, man.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Because he took his status to the head. He took that wealth to the head, and didn't regard his people, the people that he came up with in the ghetto, in the hood with him. You know what I'm saying? And became self-absorbed in his own self. You know what I'm saying? And in his abilities and what he's capable of doing. Right? But you should never forget where you come from. Right? You should never forget what your duties are. Right? Always treat somebody better than you want to be treated. You know what I'm saying? Always consider somebody else before you consider yourself. This is what Christ did. He put himself on the line, got crucified for people that don't want to even listen to him. Right? Think about it. Most niggas be like, I ain't dying for these hard-headed Negroes. You dig what I'm saying? But he decided to put himself second for the sake of this nation, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to be willing to do the same thing if you have the spirit of Christ, right? You got to put yourself second and benefit for somebody else, to help somebody else. You know what I'm saying? These brothers in the ISUPK, they work hard. The sisters as well, too. You know what I'm saying? On that Saturday, man, we could be doing anything we want to do on a Saturday. You ain't working. You probably just got paid on Friday. You know what I'm saying? You could do anything else but go to camp. You can do anything else but cook food for the brothers. You know what I'm saying? But brothers and sisters decide to dedicate their time and performing the duty of love and being selfless in order to raise up this nation. You know what I'm saying? With that type of spirit, man, is what's needed on this earth amongst our people. You know what I'm saying? We are the light of this world. We have to show that example of being humble. You know what I'm saying? And not being prideful, not being boastful. When we start to take care of each other and treat each other with respect. You get what I'm saying? As a nation. And all of that is a duty. It's not nothing that you deserve a pat on the back every time you do something good. This is your obligation to do. You get what I'm saying? All right, let's drop that. Let's get Matthew 20. Let's get Matthew 20 and start me at verse 1.
Come. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 20, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard.
Right. So now this is another parable that Christ is given, right? Shalom, Kazak, Yabashim Kata. You know what I'm saying? This is another parable that Christ is given, an example of how we should be as a nation, right? The kingdom of heaven is talking about what? What's the kingdom of heaven? Is that when you die and float to the sky? They shook their head no. All right, so go ahead and tell me, what's the kingdom of heaven then? What's the kingdom of heaven? Go ahead.
I don't know what it is, but
Uh-huh.
it's not that.
It's not that. You want to give it a shot there?
It's a place where the people who follow the rules of God go.
Give the brother a hand. I'm gonna help you out with something, right?
You got it right.
Where is that place going to be? It's gonna be where?
Heaven.
Where is that at? All right, you got the first half right. I'm gonna help you out with the second half. It's gonna be right here on this earth. You get what I'm saying? The place where people are following the laws of God, it's gonna be right here on this earth. And God is gonna establish them as rulers on this earth. This is where heaven is at. Heaven is a condition that's played out on this earth. So when Christ is giving this parable, he's only talking about the children of Israel and what we need to do to obtain rulership on this earth, right? And what we need to do in following God on this earth, right? So let's continue on.
Verse 2. And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard.
All right, so the parable starts with somebody that's a householder. He owns this house. He needs some maintenance on his house. He needs somebody to probably build him a fence, pave his driveway, do something for the house, right? So he goes out and try to hire somebody to help him out with this house, right? We see where you go to Home Depot, right? You probably see a whole bunch of Issacharites, just out there, try to get some work done. You dig what I'm saying? There's some hard-working people, man. You know what I'm saying? That's God-chosen people. You know what I'm saying? So this parable, this guy goes out to the market and get people to work from him. You know what I'm saying? And the price and the wage of his hire is a penny. 1 cent. This is what he agreed to work for. You're gonna work and fix this fence for 1 penny. Right? Read on.
Verse 3. And he went out about the third hour and saw others standing idle in the marketplace.
Right. He went about the third hour, meaning he went in the morning time, let's say 7 o'clock, and then he went about in the third hour. 3 o'clock, he went out again. And he's trying to find more people to help him out because he got a lot of stuff that needs to be done with his house. So he went at 7. At 3 o'clock, he went again to find more people. Right? Read on.
Verse 4. And said unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever it is right, I will give you. And they went their way.
So he hired them to help him and work at his house, right? Read on.
Verse 5. Again, he went out about the 6th and the 9th hour.
So he went at 6 and he went at 9 o'clock. So he kept them going back and forth to this marketplace to hire people to work for him. All right, read on.
And did likewise. Verse 6. And about the 11th hour, he went out and found others standing idle, and saith unto them, Why stand ye here all the day idle?
Right, he went back to the marketplace at 11 o'clock now, and he found more people just standing there looking for work, idle, meaning they ain't doing nothing at all. So he's trying to hire more people to work for him, right? Read on.
Verse 7. They say unto him, Because no man hath hired us. He saith unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, that shall ye receive.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 8. So when even was come, the Lord of the vineyard saith unto his steward, Call the laborers and give them their hire,
Right. So now it's time to get paid. The work is done at the crib. He went in the morning to grab people. He went at 3 to grab people. He went at 6, 9, 11, and they all agreed to pay for 1 penny, to work for 1 penny. They all agreed to that. I work for you for 1 penny. Everybody. From the morning time all the way to 11 o'clock. Right? And now it's time for them to get paid. Right? Read on.
Come on. In the middle of verse 8, call the laborers and give them their hire, beginning from the last onto the first. Verse 9, and when they came that were hired about the 11th hour, they received every man a penny.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 10, but when the first came, they supposed that they should have received more.
Now, why did they think that they should have received more?
Because they was there first. And they was there longer.
Get the sister ahead, right? They was there since 7 o'clock. Nobody gave a head hustle. I'll give a head. Right? They was there since 7 o'clock. And the ones that was there from 11 o'clock got paid the same wage as the one that was there in the morning. So he's like, listen, I should have got more. Because he's been working all day versus somebody that only came at the last hour of the shift or at 11 o'clock. You get what I'm saying? You're doing more work, so you expect to get paid more. But he told him in the beginning what? What did he tell him in the beginning?
1 penny.
That's the contract. That's the deal. He agreed to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he should have said, listen, if I'm going to be working for 7, each hour I want to get paid more.
Right.
He should have negotiated before he got hired, right? Right, you know what I'm saying? He agreed to that, so that's what it was, right? It was final, right? Let's continue on.
At the end of verse 10, and they likewise received every man a penny.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 11, and when they had received it, they murmured against the good man of the house.
Right, what is that talking about? Murmured, what does that mean?
Speak ill.
You might want to raise your hand, man. Go ahead, sis.
Speak ill.
Right, God. You know what I'm saying? To speak ill, to talk about, like, man, this guy just paid us a penny. You know, he just paid all of us this cheap, man. He being cheap, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Talking against him. You know what I'm saying? But they agreed to work for 1 penny. Right? Let's read on.
Verse 12, saying, these that had Salaki, saying, these last have what but 1 hour, and thou hast made them equal unto us,
Mm-hmm.
which have borne the burden, Salaki, which have borne the burden and heat of the day.
Right. Break this down. What is that talking about? What are they saying to this good man?
They deserve more than what they actually did.
What you say?
Huh? Yes, what you said. Say it again.
They deserve more than what they agreed on.
Right. Which is true. Well, let's break down the scripture. Right. This is what they're saying to the good man. You know what I'm saying? He's saying that we came here and they're getting paid equal as us. But we are the ones that borne the burden and the heat of the day. So what is that talking about?
They dealt with that.
They what?
They dealt with how.
You said what?
They dealt with how long it took.
They dealt with how long it took? I can kind of go with that. Anybody else? Go ahead, Razor. Go ahead. Go ahead, give it a shot. Go ahead, man. It's all right. Give it a shot. Oh, man. You want to repeat the question? What is the scripture talking about? No, sir. What is the scripture talking about? What is it talking about when they said they're getting paid equal, but we're the ones that borne the burden and the heat of the day? And spirit, what they talking about? Any y'all want to give it a shot?
They carry most of the weight.
Salaki, sir.
God, hold on. Go ahead.
What they saying is that they've been there from they've been there the longest. They've been there from morning to night. They've been and worked in the hot sun. They done worked all day. They worked many hours. Other people just came in and only worked a little bit.
God, right? They was there all day and they carried all the load, like he said. You know what I'm saying? And they've been there all day, and they was in the hot sun, picking up the wood, putting the fence up, knocking it down on the ground, making sure there's a line, and it was there all day. And while they was doing that, some cat comes around late at night, and all he does is pull the string a little bit on the fence, and his work was done. You know what I'm saying? And it was time to get paid. You were like, I was in the hot sun, sweating, slaving. Of course, I'm gonna get paid more than this guy who just pulled the string on the fence. But when the good man started, or the householder started paying him, he's starting to see, listen, they all getting the same wage as me. I should be getting more than that. You know what I'm saying? They're saying this against the householder. Right now, what is this all a metaphor about?
That we all equal, no one is better than the next.
True, but let's break down the parable. Well, who is the householder?
The master, the owner,
In the analogy, right? And metaphorically, who will be the householder?
the man, the owner.
Which is who? Who's the owner? Who's the man? Somebody help out. Who wanna help out?
The servant.
Oh, God.
Person who's paying.
God, don't sweat. One of these brothers. Go ahead. Who's the householder?
So the household would be Israel, and the good man would be the Most High.
Oh, the householder and the good man is the same people.
So be the servant.
It's,
All right.
I was saying the house. Lucky, I was saying the house. Like the
Oh,
work.
okay. Con. So yeah, the good man, the householder, will be more specific, talking about your house, y'all.
Okay.
Right? Talking about Christ. Christ is he's the head of this nation. He's the king.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? And what he did, he went out and looked for brothers who's willing to build this house. Right?
Come on.
Which is, like the brother said, Israel. You know what I'm saying? He went out early in the morning. He went out 3 o'clock. He went out 6, 9, 11. And he found brothers that was willing to work. And before they all got to their job, they understood what the pay was. All right?
Come on.
All right. So y'all with me, right?
Come on.
Okay. Let's continue on.
Come on. At the ending of verse 12, which have borne the burden and the heat of the day. Verse 13, but he answered one of them and said, friend, I do thee no wrong. Didst not thou agree with me for a penny?
Right. Didn't you agree that you was gonna get a penny? Right. Read on.
Come on. Verse 14. Take that thine is, and go thy way. I will give unto this last, even as unto thee.
Right. So even with us coming into this truth, right, you have people that have different status than others. Right. We have a military structure that's written of in the Bible that we hold and keep according to the scriptures. Got captains, officers of 5,000, 1,000, 550s, even troopers, sisters on down. You dig what I'm saying? This is the structure that the Lord has set up, right? And each and every one of them have a different responsibility. And some of them was given that status because they've been working for the longest. They've been working the hardest. But at the end of it all, what is the main pay or the main goal that we're all going to receive? You said what? Yeah, I like that answer. Get that brother ahead. What are we are agreeing on? What are we agreeing on? Bring it home. You said what?
To be paid one penny.
To be paid. What's that payment though? What's
to serve the Most High.
To serve the Most High, right? And eventually, what's that gonna get us?
To the King.
Which is what?
Heaven.
Which is what?
Here on earth with the Most High.
Right? Well, how do you say that in one word? All right.
Oh, man.
Salaki.
Salakia, sir.
Kyle, go ahead, help me up. Go ahead. So, I think Officer Lapia, I think you was first.
Rulership.
Rulership, right? We in the truth, right? We get different status. Other brothers get raised up, different, responsibilities and all that stuff. But the end goal of it is what? Rulership. To rule this earth, to govern this whole earth. That's what was promised unto us from the Most High. If you do what I tell you to do, I will give you rulership. You get what I'm saying? So no matter what we're doing or what responsibilities we have, we all get an equal pay. We're doing this for a greater good. We're not doing this for an individual pay. We're not doing this for an individual rank or individual status. You're not doing this so, I've been here 20 years, I'm that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Or I've been here 5 years, I'm that nigga. Right. You know what I'm saying? We're doing this for salvation, to bring our people out of this condition, to give our people rulership, to give them out of the hell that we living in on this earth, to save a life. If you're not in here to save a life, then what are you doing this for? For nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? That penny's going to run out. You're going to spend that penny and that's that. You know what I'm saying? Your rank is nice and good to have, and that status and everything that you have is good to have. Well, what's most important is saving a life, saving a brother life, saving a sister life, so we can rule this earth. You get what I'm saying? This is what Christ is trying to break down. You know what I'm saying? So we can always stay humble and know what our roles and what our job is, what our duties are. Never go outside of your duty, man. You know what I'm saying? We have to show our people what it is, what it means to be humble, what it means to be selfless, what it means to be righteous. Because everybody else is teaching them how to be selfish, to do what you want to do, make yourself a god, celebrate birthdays, celebrate Christmas. As long as you're happy, God is with it. Now, what has that brought us as a nation? Nothing. Destruction, poverty, hell, death. You get what I'm saying? Well, with brotherhood and sisterhood, we have to understand and how to be humble, how to put the Most High first, how to put the law, statute, commandments first. So that way we can save each other, take care of each other. And while we're doing that, guess what? We're building this kingdom. We're building this nation up. And one day, guess what? We'll rule this earth. We're ruling. You know what I'm saying? We're ruling as long as we do what God tells us to do. You know what I'm saying? Somebody says Salakia? God, everybody right. You know what I'm saying? Bruni, Fontana, Salakia, I butchered her name. Bruni, yes, salvation. Oh, Bruni, okay. Salvation, Trooper Halak, rulership, Asa Kazak, Damar, the kingdom. Right, man. This is what we doing it for. You know what I'm saying? You're not doing this for individual wage. This is what the oppressor cares about. Right? They fight and kill each other so they can be a president. They could, leak tapes about each other. Cut each other off and be cutthroat and do schemes so they can get power individually. You get what I'm saying? But we're got to think collectively like a nation. A nation first starts with a family, right? That's what a nation is. It's a collection of families, right? If our family's in order, guess what our nation gonna be? Get this is the head, right? If your family is in order, our nation gonna be in order. You get what I'm saying? But the reason why our families are not in order because we don't know how to treat each other according to the law, statute, commandments of the Most High. We don't know how to deal with each other. We don't know how to go about. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be their own boss. You know what I'm saying? But we have to learn and subject ourselves under the rules of God. You know what I'm saying? All right. Go ahead, soldier.
If I may, it's funny because I'm gonna say real quick. Today I was at the slave. This Edomite. He was talking about how he was taking care of his wife's mother, and she just passed away. Mm-hmm. Now the family want to come in and sell the house and kick them out and everything, and just do them dirty. I'm laughing in my head, but yeah, Esau is at it. They don't know how to do it.
God, they don't know how to rule this earth, but you know what I'm saying? They don't listen, they got white on white crime going on right now in Russia, between Russia and you think they know about love? You think they know about being humble? That's all they worried about. They willing to kill each other. People that look just like them, that descend from them, just so they can get power on this earth. And this is who we pattern our communities after, our behaviors after them. You know what I'm saying? We look at that image of that white Jesus, of Caesar Borgia, and we think this is it. This is who we have to follow in order to serve God. And that image resembles our slave master. So everything our slave masters do, we think is right along with Jesus Christ. Because that image looks just like them. You get what I'm saying? But what we got to realize that this book has nothing to do with white people. Nothing to do with white Jesus. Nothing to do with Russia. Nothing to do with Ukraine. But everything to do with so-called blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people. You know what I'm saying? And we have to humble ourselves. Never get too proud. You know what I'm saying? This is why we in the position we in right now. We thought we didn't need God. We thought we can do it by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? But now we know. You know what I'm saying? Now we know that listen, we got to get it right? Listen, let's continue on, Worry.
Come. Verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
Is it not lawful for me to do what I will with my own?
Right, that's his bread. He can give out how much he want to give out, whatever he decide. Right, read on.
Come. Is thine evil eye, Salaki, is thine eye evil because I am good?
Right, he's a man of his word. He said he gonna pay you a penny, so he gave him a penny. The Lord promised us rulership, so he gonna give us rulership. Right, as a nation. Read on.
Verse 16. So the last shall be first, and the first last.
The what?
For many. So the last shall be first, and the first last.
Right. Many people came fronting like they care about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That started out speaking about black love and trying to, speak about the liberation of black people. People like Al Sharpton, cats like Martin Luther King and Jesse Jackson, right? They are the ones that we see first as the leaders of black people, right? But they're only worrying about their wages. That's all they care about, getting that penny from the oppressor. They just want to get paid more than a nigga do. That's what they were worried about. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to get paid what a nigga in the hood is getting paid. They need a penny. You dig what I'm saying? So they're not concerned about saving their nation. That's not their concern about taking care collectively as a nation. They only think about themselves, being selfish and greedy and wanting the crumbs of the oppressor. You get what I'm saying? What the Lord is saying, the first is going to be last. Those that's in leadership right now and rulership and power right now, they're going to be last. And those that's last on the bottom that's willing to serve the Most High, they're going to be first. The Lord is going to switch the roles on, right? Let's continue on.
Come. At the end of verse 16, for many be called, but few chosen.
Right, many are called, but few chosen. Let's get one more verse before they kick us up out of here. All right. Babade. Any of y'all brothers got any precepts y'all want to bring out too? You said what?
Today at work, dealing with a broadcast, dealing with one of our people that have a church. We had over 500,000 in his bank account.
I don't think the people can hear you.
And,
You heard? You gotta speak up. Not for real, you got. It's a class.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was talking about today at work dealing with a broadcast with one of our people that own a church, and he had over 500,000, and he was stressing about $20 that one of the sisters in the church wrote a check and the check bounced, and he's stressing about the $20, and he had over 500,000 in his account. Instead of saying, you know what, let me help this sister, he was crying about those $20.
God, listen, and the pastor, he got all the wealth. You know what I'm saying? He crying about the $20. You know what I'm saying?
$20 check that she wrote.
God, can't get no relief from our oppressors. I mean, from our leaders. You know what I'm saying?
Shows how much he's so much of the oppressor. But if that was in the oppressor, He would have cared less. He wouldn't have called about it. He wouldn't have said nothing about it. It would just been
Right. And
okay.
this is who God had a problem with, right?
But our people hate our people.
God.
You know what I mean?
God, exactly right. This is who God spoke against, right? Every time he was on the scene, he would battle the Pharisees. You know what I'm saying? The Pharisees was the leaders, the rich, the wealthy of Israel. You know what I'm saying? But Christ was letting them know, like, these ain't the cats. This ain't it right here. You know what I'm saying? What we got to do is serve the Most High, right? Let's get James 2 and 2. Or 2 and 1. Let's start at 2 and 1 real quick.
James.
Whoever got that, go ahead.
Chapter 2, verse 1.
Salaki.
Con, go ahead.
The book of James, chapter 2, verse 1. My brethren, have not faith of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Lord of glory, with respect of person.
Right. What is respect of persons?
Salaki, that's holding somebody at a different standard or a different
You got
like
it.
treating somebody better because like who they are. Like
Con.
if you treat somebody like one way, then you treat this man because another way because of whatever reason.
Perfect. Just because of their name. You know what I'm saying? Just read on.
For if there come unto you assembly, for if there come unto your assembly a man with a gold ring and a goodly apparel, and there come in also a poor man in vile raiment,
Mm-hmm.
and ye have respect to him that wears the gay clothing, and say unto him, sit thou here in a good place.
Right. I got you right now. All right. Not my fault. Go ahead.
And let's say, and let Salaki, sit thou here in a good place, and say to the poor, stand thou there, or sit here under my footstool. Are ye not then partial in yourselves, and are become judges of evil thoughts?
Right. So don't judge according to the outer appearance, right? Don't puff yourself up due to what you look like on the outside, right? It's what the inside that counts. Like I told a young man earlier, right? The kingdom of God is where? Right? The spirit of God is where? The spirit of God.
Inside of us.
There you go. What's in the inside is what matters. You dig what I'm saying? As long as we do what's right, you know what I'm saying? That's what's important. This is where you're going to get your glory from, right? And everything else will work out on its own. You know what I'm saying? So with that, we're going to end this class. Met the water. Everybody come through. Class will continue on tomorrow. Cap will be on, or I think Austin the Shock will be on. Met the water. All y'all brothers, man. Austin Lapayad, Trooper Kanak, Trooper Mathia. With that, man, we're going to end this class, y'all. Shalom, Israel.